your birthday, whenever there's a birthday, you locked in the cosmos in your body during that time. You are an intelligent, incredible being. And who you spend your birthday days with and how you spend your birthday days matter. It's like if you think of the birthday of, or the star alignment. Once upon a time, we didn't understand the weather. Now, because we understand the weather, we can prepare ourselves for everything that comes. The days around your birthday are very, very useful for doing ritual, celebration, intention, anything that anchors your subconscious mind into mastering your environment for you. Right? Big time. When you light a candle, when you say a prayer, when you connect with the cosmos, when you connect with the sun and the moon, which are the two largest celestial objects around us, around your birthday, right? It's so beautiful that, happy birthday. It's so glad that you were born, and you were born with a genius of the stars inside your bones. You're born with that already. We're finally learning the technology to communicate that out into the field. And so you doing this in the next 24 hours is a really great idea. There has been someone toxic in your world in the past. It's so beautiful to collect something. And I'm just going to show you a ring, right? I run from one thing to the next, so I don't get to put my rings on or some of my jewelry on sometimes. So this is sitting here. But you would take something really, really meaningful to you, and you would give your past whole living life, all of it that you remember. You place that into the whatever it is. I have a ring, but it could be, I'm like, here's an old earring, right? It could be an earring, something that means something to you. And you place all of that energy in it, your old self, like you're burying yourself in the ground, because that's what you're going to do. You're going to bury and the past and everything that was, and all the hurt that came with the past experiences. You're going to, it's like that, put that energy, and then you take that and you place it like a beloved creature, yourself. You fill it and you bury that in the ground. You can bury it next to a plant that you might want to water, like a grave, right? They'll plant a tree next to a grave. You're burying your old self. You're burying the past. You're burying all the pain. Your subconscious mind sees that as a demarcation, right? Of this was a before, this is an after. It's especially powerful to do on your birthday, around your birthday. It's really powerful within 3 days of your birthday. And so we're within that time frame of when you locked in the universe in your body. So is above, so is below. There's so much science with this. It's incredible. Doing this one act of putting all of your energy, burying it, and every time you're ready to, when you're having an experience, so you do this ceremony with the elements. Let me say that again. You bring in fire, you bring in water, you bring in air, you bring in earth, you bring in ether. You empty yourself into that, you bury that, and you sit with it, and you breathe, and you breathe, and you breathe until you know you're different. And I often recommend that you rename yourself with a name that only you know. So the people, the things of the past no longer have power over you when they say your name, because you've renamed yourself. Jessica, what would you add to this?
Yeah, it's that constant cutting energetic cords so that we're free. I've had to do it. I've had to do it to heal the divine masculine in my family, my ancestral line recently. And it's a beautiful experience to be able to disconnect and get into that liberation where, for me, where I can just remove myself from these situations and say, it's okay. I love you. I hear you. And this is like to myself, and allowing myself to just be okay. And just take care of myself the way I know I need and I deserve, and not expect it from others. And this is kind of funny. It's a little trick that I started doing. Once upon a time, I used to feel so bad because I was always expecting others to read my mind and to love Jessica the way she wants to be loved. And so I was always waiting for that present to come, or for someone to realize that I like this or I like that. And then one day I realized, girl, just take yourself out to dinner. You take yourself out to dinner. You take yourself to the movies. You buy that really nice jacket that you like. You buy that sweater. You buy that piece of jewelry for yourself. And so all of a sudden, I just started gifting myself gifts, because why? I deserve it. And I started developing a pretty nice relationship with myself. So
good. If you don't know how to, then no one else will. So
yeah,
we'll start there.
So beautiful. You're so welcome. Hillary, what are your takeaways from this? And I'm going to be off screen just for a second to make it quieter in here, but I'm listening. I can hear you.
No worries. I feel like just like confirmation and validation. I like that, Jessica, you use the word liberation, because I feel like that word and the word of sovereignty are just like what I'm hoping for and aiming for. And I think we all are doing this work because we all know that that's what everyone deserves. And collectively, that's how we're going to get there.
right.
Yeah, I think sometimes it's like, you know what to do. And I did do a ceremony on my birthday. These candles are carved with affirmations and anointed in oil. And I saged, and my friend gave me a new pack of tarot yesterday, because I have the flower of life on my heart chakra. And it's the Hermetic tarot, which I really like, in the symbolism. So I smudged them and smudged my apartment, and did an 11/11
I would
Kriya.
love for you to pull a card, because if you've been with Miracle Makers for a little while, you'll know birthdays are really important. They're one of our signs. Someone always brings forward their birthday, and we know that we're on the path. That's one of our signs. So you're one of our signs that a birthday is always celebrated somehow. And so bring forward a card. We'd love that. Tarot is based on the tarot cards are based on the mysticism of Judaism, which is so beautiful. It takes all of the teachings and puts them into pictures and puts them into stories that can be understood. Just want to make sure that the general audience understands where tarot comes from. It's based deeply in connection to source and love and oneness in the universe.
Yeah, I mean, I think that many cultures have so many beautiful symbolisms, but they're definitely like archetypal energies. And when you want to, like, get your energetic fingers or, whatever out there, they're a very beautiful form of divination. And I think with all divination, things are what we make of them. What goes out comes back. And yeah, I just, when I was shuffling the card that popped out on top, so I flipped it over, and these are, because they're Hermetic tarot, they're very based in like esoteric symbolism and occultism. Yeah, I'm also very intrigued with like the seals of Solomon and symbolism in general. But I pulled the Four of Cups, and it's also in this deck called the Lord of Blended Pleasure. I just want to share some of the symbolism. It
So
almost seems to
beautiful.
have almost like a Babylonian type of like tree of life overflowing into the Four Cups. And I'm looking at but like the lotus type
the
of
lotus flower, yeah.
Right.
Thank you so much. What does that mean to you?
I also feel confirmation from it. I feel that we're speaking, or at least, speaking for myself, I don't want to project on it, but if it resonates with you, I feel like we're in this unknown place of development, and even resonating with the ceremony that you offered of planting a seed in the earth, giving myself a new name, and allowing for new growth and for a new heartfulness of cups of fulfillment. And also just personally, like being a water sign and represented by the cups, and the chalice aspect with the red and white colors of the divine feminine, and Mother Mary, Mary Magdalene, and those archetypes coming through.
Thank you
and
so
yeah.
much, because it's a representation of the four elements as well. The cup represents love, and the initial stories of creation, the Garden of Eden, all of that's in the tarot, and mysticism. And so it's initiation, it's the next level, it's rebirth. And so it's when you go into the deep representation of that, Jessica, and we're going to bring on Caroline next. Hillary, thank you for being with us. Jessica, go ahead, love.
I just, one thing that I saw with your card, Hillary, the lotus flower, the seed that sprouted you into the new you, the lotus flower then produces its own nourishment that overflows. The cups are overflowing, and then the overflow goes back into the earth, which then supports you. So it's like I see the cycle of you giving from, like Dr. Larsen says, from the overflow. Because when we do self-care and we break out of, like you've been sharing, Hillary, we're breaking out of the feminine archetype of being the caretaker and what that means, but actually realizing that we also need to take care of ourselves. When we do that, we have that overflow. So then we can actually be of more service, because we're being of service to ourselves too. So thank you.
Thank you for sharing your birthday with us. Yay.
Oh, my pleasure.